Hi all, and welcome to my channel, Fred Makes Things, and a step-by-step tutorial on how to make a bowl cozy. Junior, maybe welcome later, but not right now. Sorry, Bubby. Anyways, it's a step-by-step tutorial on how to make a bowl cozy. I'm going to try something a little bit different in my tutorial videos today. In that I have every single step kind of planned out in this stack, and we're going to talk about it one by one by one. Timestamps are going to be in the description box for each step, so if you're following along with this tutorial, you can just hit through there, or if you're looking for something specific or what have you, timestamps are there to guide you. Before we get started, I do want to say hello to everybody. Hello to the new subscribers, the OGs, anyone in between. Hello to the people who are curious about making a bowl cozy and have clicked on this video. You are all so very much appreciated, and your kind and thoughtful comments are always so welcome in the comment section. So let's just get started with part one, the materials. So for this, it's all cotton all the time if you want it to be microwave safe. You need 1 or 2 pieces of 100% cotton batting for your batting for your interior, for your middle layer, we will say. Everything is a 10 by 10 inch square, so you need a 10 by 10 inch square of cotton batting. I use 1 layer. Some people prefer 2, but you need a 10 by 10 piece of cotton batting. And they do sell batting specific for the microwave. It's called like Easy Heat or something. That's what this here is. And that's just to make sure that extra safe, that it goes in safe for the microwave. You also need 2 squares of cotton fabric. You need a square for your exterior. You need a square for your interior. This is a Christmas theme because I'm making Christmas bowl cozies. But yeah, you need 2 squares of cotton, of 100% cotton fabric, and you need cotton thread. All of this is so that it is microwave safe and nothing will melt in your microwave. Now, when I make bowl cozies, I almost never put them in the microwave. I tend to pull the hot item out and put them into the bowl cozy, but my mother-in-law likes to use her bowl cozies in the microwave. So the safest option is to do everything 100% cotton. So those are your materials. I will also have a PDF linked in the description box so that you can go find that, print that off if you want directions and everything like that for you. But the key takeaway is 2 10 by 10 inch squares of cotton fabric. Layer cakes work well for this too because they're already cut in 10 by 10s. 1 or 2 10 by 10 pieces of cotton batting, and 100% cotton thread. So for number 2, so once you have your material cut out, and then it's on to quilting and putting your darts together. So here is a quilted piece for you. What I do for these bowl cozies is I draw a diagonal line from like my top left to my bottom right, my top right to my bottom left, and then I sew a 1/4 of an inch out on each side using like a long top stitching kind of stitch. Like I put my machine at a 4 and run them across, and then I end up getting like this double line, double X kind of shape. Now, I find that this holds up quite well on its own. If you want to give it more structural integrity, you can run more lines. Some bowl cozy makers will just do like 1 stitch going across each diagonal. I don't like that. I don't like to me that feels a little bit flimsy. I do like the double line, but you could do more if you want to. You can get creative with this if you're practicing quilting, right? You can have as much fun with these as you like. The idea is just to make sure that you've quilted your batting to your bowl cozy. Usually you do your exterior side if you like, but it doesn't really matter. These bowl cozies end up being reversible anyway. And the thing to keep in mind is if you are doing really heavy quilting, your exterior might shrink a little bit, and that's okay. You can either trim your interior down to match the size of your exterior piece, or you can cut your exterior piece a little bit larger, like a 10.5 or 11 inches, and then trim that down to 10 inches. Bowl cozies are a very forgiving project. There is no like specific, like you must have it come down to this size to make it work. So just keep that in mind. The heavier the quilting, the more that your cozy might shrink a little bit. Then when your bowl cozy is quilted, your exterior piece is quilted, then you can move on to step 2 or step 3. Now, if you are using 2 layers of batting, you want to quilt 1 layer of batting to your exterior side, and you want to quilt 1 layer of batting to your interior side. Like I said, I'm only doing 1 layer of batting. I often only do 1 layer of batting. So I'm just going to not worry about quilting both sides. But if you are doing 2 layers, you do want to quilt both sides. So in this step 2 is when you can round your corners. So if you want to round your corners, you find like a cup or a glass or something round in the curve that you like. You place it on the edge of your corner of your bowl cozy, and then you just trace it out and cut it. I'm not going to do curves for these. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible, but just know that you can do a curve if you want to. Now to step 3, the darts. So the darts are what makes your bowl cozy a bowl cozy, right? It's the thing that gives you its shape. So I'm going to show you on my interior piece, and then I'll show you what it looks like on my exterior piece. But you're going to take your interior piece, fold it in half, and you're going to measure on either side, running along your folded edge, 1 inch out from your top section and 2 inches down towards the middle. So you're gonna have like this this like long line here. It's gonna form like a triangle. And I'm showing you blue on blue, but you're going to do that on all 4 sides. So when it's all traced out, right, it's going to look like this. You're going to have these weird like little lines everywhere. But when you fold them, right, they come together. And you could trace like the full V if you like, but because you're going to sew this when your pieces are folded in half, right sides together, it doesn't really matter as long as you have your line running and everything was nicely laid out first. I like to do all 4 lines first and then do my darts so that I'm not trying to trace anything out, make any kind of measurements as the shape is starting to take place. But you could do either way if you like. So when all 4 of them are traced out, you're going to, again, fold it in half, and you're going to sew from your top edge down towards your middle. You're going to want to start with like a regular kind of size sewing stitch length, like a 2.5. It depends on what your machine has. My machine lengths go from 1 to 4. I sew most things on a 2.5. A lot of quilting blocks I do at a 2. Foundation paper piecing I do shorter, and then like top stitching I do at a 3, 3, 5, 4. But so I do like a 2.5 on this dart here, and then when I get to about 1/2 inch from my end, I switch out to like a 1.15, and I finish it out so that you have like a really tight stitch along here. And I saw someone in dressmaking say that they do it that way, or in garment making do it that way, so that they don't have to back stitch their darts. And I thought that is really clever. And they say leave a really long tail and then either tie it off or hope for the best. So that's what I do now. So a medium length stitch, like a standard stitch for the most part, and then right towards the bottom, just a much shorter stitch so that you don't have to worry about back stitching. You do that on all 4 corners of your interior, and you do it on all 4 edges of your interior, and then you do it on all 4 edges of your exterior as well. I suggest working with the interior first if it's your first time working with darts, because there's less bulk, less things to mess around with your interior fabric, and then go on to your exterior fabric. Again, you want to make sure right sides touch, mark your lines. So this is what your line looks like when it's opened up, and this is what your dart looks like after it's been sewn with your tail. And then to tie it off, right, you just of course now I can't seem to tie a knot, but just a standard little knot just to keep things from shifting and moving out or around. So then this is what that looks like, right? Then when it's open, it looks like this. Here's it on the other side. And then you trim it. You want to trim it about 1/4 of an inch from your end. Before you trim though, you want to make sure that all of your sides are nice and smooth. You don't have any weird gathers or any shifting. And that could happen when you're folding this piece in particular in half. Like when you go to fold it, sometimes you can see here there's like these puckers and stuff that start to form. So what I do is when I have everything folded in half, I take my finger, bind it down in the bottom, and I just pull everything nice and tight so that when you bring it together, it's all nice and tight together. You can use your finger, a turning tool, a pen, a chopstick, whatever you want. You just want to make sure that all that fabric is nice and tight when you fold it in half. You can pin it or you can just sew it down. And then when everything is sewn down and trimmed, you're ready to move on to your next step. So here are all of the darts sewn down, right? You can see all of the darts here, all of your darts here. And now you can see the shape of your bowl cozy coming together. So here's your exterior section, here's your interior section. You want to have right sides facing, lay them in together, and then you want to pin them. You want to pin corner to corner, and you want to pin dart and dart together. You can cut out some more of the cotton from here, from your seam if you need to. You line them up together and then you nest. So you push your interior fabric in one direction, you push your exterior fabric into the other direction, you find your seam, or you align your seam, and then you pin right there to nest them together. You do it on all sides, and this is what you end up with when it's all nested together, right? So all of your corners are pinned, all of your interiors are pinned, right? Everything is together, looking nice, right? You can see the shape really starting to come together. And then you're going to sew it. If you're confident, you can sew at 1/4 of an inch. If you're less confident, you can sew at 1/2 an inch. I tend to sew my bowl cozies closed at 1/2 an inch. just to be safe, just to give my rims a little bit extra padding too. And sometimes things happen and your cozy and your batting might shift. Your batting might be a weird size. Things might happen, and when you have 1/2 inch in your seam allowance, you can kind of make up for some of those. Then when everything is pinned together, you're going to pick a side and you're going to leave about like a 2-inch gap or so. And you're going to sew all the way across. These are a slight angle, so when you come in to here, into this seam here, you want to keep your needle stopped in that section of the seam, and then you're going to pivot. It's just like a tiny pivot up to your corner, back down, right? And you're going to leave an opening on one side. I usually leave it on one of my cleanest edges. You're going to leave it open for about 2 inches or so that you can pull it all together. When it is sewn together, where are we? I don't know what step we're on, but this is what we end up with. So this one here, when I was cutting my fabric or my batting, I was running really, I was really close to having full 10-inch squares, but I wasn't quite there. So my last couple of pieces of batting ended up shorter, which is why you see this. It doesn't really affect the integrity of the bowl cozy in the long run, but it can make for like a messier looking bowl cozy. So here we are sewing at 1/2 inch in on all sides. I trimmed my corners. Here's my opening. It's 1 inch because I forgot what I was doing. But this is your interior. This is your exterior, right? So everything lines up. And then you use this opening here to reach in and turn it all the right way. Now this is where like a chopstick or like a point turner or something comes in handy, because then you can get your edges nice and clean. 1 inch means I'm gonna have to like struggle to get this through, but that's okay. I'll be back in a second. All right, so it's turned around. Then you just take your chopstick or your point turner or the blunter side of a pair of scissors. You want to find your points, push them out. You want to be gentle in this process so that you push them out nicely. What else do I have down here? I like a point turner because it is blunt enough on the edges that you can really get a nice clean seam. You want to run whatever you're using along all of your seams too, and that will like even out your seams for you. So anyway, you just want to kind of work on these. You want to be able to turn those out nicely. What do I have down here if I could do that with? Anyway, you get the idea. Like if you have something, like you want something pointy enough to catch it, but not so pointy that it'll push through. But however it works out for you, just be patient with this step. Take your time and make sure that you're pushing, or like you're pushing all of those edges nice and clean. Then when that is done, you want to iron it. You want to iron, how I iron is I go from my corner in, pushing all of this down nice and flat. Go to the next corner in, push it down, all nice and flat. In, push it down, all nice and flat. And so on. Flip it over, right? Pop it out, do the same. In, nice and flat. In, right? Kind of straightening and pulling as you go along, kind of cleaning up all of your wrinkles, straightening everything out, getting it all nice and cleaned up. And your final product will look like this, or something like this. So here's your interior, here's your exterior. Right, if you had curved, you'd have curved corners. When you're done ironing, you want to top stitch it all down. I do about 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch in, making sure that I catch my opening. Here, this side is my opening. Actually, this side was probably my opening. I don't remember. But making sure that you catch your opening in here. Another reason to do 1/2 an inch of a seam allowance is you have a lot of seam there to play around with to clean up, so that you can make like a really nice clean edge, and that you can really guarantee catching your corner. You can trim some of your bulk away on the inside if you want to. I kind of like having a bit of the extra bulk on here just for purposes, right, for grabbing purposes and stuff. And then here are 2 bowls that I use all the time in my kitchen, right? Here's a fairly large bowl that fits quite nicely inside, right? And then this is, I think, more of a traditional sized cereal bowl. These bowls are ancient, right? And they fit in here quite nicely too. See, so you just, right, it tucks in, sits nicely. So you can have this right in the microwave, grab your ends and pull it out if you want to. So that is my bowl cozy tutorial. I worked through making 6 of these to show you. And then you can flip them the other way around too if you so chose, and your bowl will actually help shape it for you, flatten it out for you. But yeah, so like I was saying, I made 6 of these, so a bunch of different patterns and colors and stuff like that. We have this snowflake material with some tulip pink striping on the inside. We have this beautiful like Christmas floral, winter floral with this beautiful green fabric from Art Gallery Fabrics. This was part of my Ginger Quilter scrap mystery box. And then on these ones here, we have the snowflakes with this beautiful blue. We have this beautiful blue with this tulip pink swallow fabric. We've got another green and red combo. And we've got this one here is swallow fabric with the blue stripe. And I say that because by the time that this video goes live, all of these bowl cozies will be finished and will be available to buy in my Etsy shop. Bowl cozies are $6 over there, but I'm running a, I don't know, a deal, a special, a sale, a what have you, and everything. All regular stock is 20% off, and all Halloween stock is 50% off if you are so inclined. So that is this version of a tutorial video for this month. Bowl cozies. What do you think? Do you like them? Do you not? Have you made bowl cozies in the past? Have you not? Let me know down in the comment section below. What other kinds of easy, beginner-friendly tutorials would you like to see on this channel too? Next month, we are going to be talking very simple foundation paper piecing, turning those into a mug rug. So I have a 2-part tutorial planned for next month. So normally this is the part of the video where I tell you what are my plans for the next few videos coming up. And I don't know when this video is going live, so I don't know what is coming up next. I do know that we're coming closer to December, and there will be the 25 days of December video then. There will be like quilt updates, project videos, that tutorial I just mentioned, and a few other things. But for the immediate future, it is anyone's guess. Editing Fred will be kind enough, hopefully, to put up some videos that she knows is coming up, because when she's editing this, it'll be much closer in time. I am filming this early though, because I want to get these bowl cozies finished so that I can have them posted for you all to go check out if you want to buy one of the ones that I've already made. And I also need to write the PDF instructions for these as well, which will be linked in the description box for you. So that is what's coming up. Something, it's anybody's guess. So yeah, subscribe if you like these kinds of tutorial videos. I don't do a whole lot of them on this channel, but I have been kind of dabbling in them recently. Like the video if you've made it to the end. Like the video if you liked my walkthrough of a bowl cozy. And yeah, I think that's all. So with all of that being said, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching, and I will talk with you again soon.